with USA basketball?
I don't have one. Yeah, I don't have one. I'm happy for them. When Chelsea and especially Nafisa Collier are my two that I'm really close with. You know, I don't have one. And I think it goes from the fact that I think that when you evolve with time, that's when you're at your best. And I don't know if USA basketball has continually evolved with time. And then also, I also believe that there are so many times where just tell me, and then I won't waste my time. Like, if that was the stipulations. And so I think it was very interesting for me personally to have a situation where I went to a camp, I got a triple-double at the camp, was, I think, first or second in scoring. Like, it wasn't on the court.
Yeah.
So if it's me as an individual, as a person, I'm spending time away from my daughter to come and do these camps that I'm not even being judged off of how I'm playing.
What do you think you were judged off of?
I don't think I personally fit. I don't think Geno wanted me on the team. So I think it's one of those things where it's like, cool, like, just tell me. And then don't, beat around the bush. Like, just tell people. And so I think now we're reaching a point where players are becoming more empowered. And I've said this about the NBA for a very, very, very long time. They started becoming, and I know the NBA has been a process, but when the way that they empower their players, where they have a voice, they have a say, they talk to them, they're honest with things. Like the way in which they handle NBA basketball, USA basketball, like there's some people it didn't matter. They were untouchable. Like, you know what I mean? And so I think that based off of, like, I knew as soon as he was named the coach again, I was like, oh, well,
So why,
this is going to be interesting.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think he did not want Candace Parker on the team?
I mean, he doesn't like me. I don't like him. I mean, we don't like each other. But I think I am of the mindset, and this is where I think sometimes I get misunderstood a little bit. I'm of the mindset that, like, I don't have to like you to play with you. I don't have to like you to work with you. You know?
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like, it's cool. They made their decision. I laugh and joke that my kids will never play USA basketball or USA sports at all. But listen, it's a thing of the past. But I'm one of those people that's like, I get more angry at the people I love getting hurt. And what they did to Nneka was unbelievable.
Yeah. She deserved.
It's one of those things where it's like, I'm more angry at that. Because you have somebody that arguably, maybe 2016, but definitely, she's the only MVP of the league. You know what I mean? She went and got, I think, MVP of the World Games, and then you leave her off the team. And so I think that there's, certain grace for certain people, and there's certain things that aren't, you don't get grace.
Yeah. There's no consistency.
And listen, respect to Connecticut. Connecticut continues to crank out player of the year after player of the year, right? At the same time, though, like, when I was there, my 4 years at Tennessee, they didn't win no national championships.
Talk it, Candace.
They never beat us, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, that might be a soft spot. I don't know.
And he's like, because we
there,
couldn't get there,
listen,
she's not
I can only
allowed.
hold on to when we were there, okay? No, I'm just kidding. But listen, like, totally, I just said, because they called back in 2000 to go for 2020, and I was like, no, like, I'm not.
Yeah, it's like, y'all
not doing
already
this.
did what you did.
It's
Yeah.
like, I can't teach my daughter lessons and tell her about, respect and treatment and communication and all this stuff and then go back to that. So I'm done. I'm happy. I got 2 gold medals. I appreciate the experience. And I wish them well, honestly.
Totally.
Like, I'm so proud of Chelsea and Nafisa and, obviously Sue and Diana, what they did in terms of going to 5 Olympics and winning 5 medals. Like, that's super special. And I think it's valuable. And it's important for USA to stay on top.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
You said something interesting, which is that it hasn't evolved over time. Can you just more so elaborate on that? What you want to see
I think in terms of just player and women empowerment, there were so many times where, and I get it, we play year round. And so I think there's so many times where now looking back, especially after being cut, that they have this expectation that you just drop everything and just come and play in your one break. And I think the evolution over time needs to, like, be more about the player and the health,
Yeah.
And I think the way in which they do the men's, like, Kobe and LeBron and D-Wade didn't show up to all the little mini camps.
Yeah.
They ain't showing up to stuff.
Yeah.
So listen, I take that as, like, we got to make a whole lot more money to have power. And so that is my whole thing in terms of leaving the game. And I think we're doing that, especially with NIL, with what the NCAA, you're going to have players that are now coming in with checks that don't have to do that. Like, I can make a choice not to do that.
Yeah.
And so I think with that is going to come more power. And similar to the men's, like, you had a certain expectation where it was like, nah, not doing that, you know? And so I think it was, for a long time, it's like women dreamed of playing in the Olympics and they would do anything at any cost. So they almost not owned you, but like.
But it was like they were pulling the strings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I think it's going to become, at least I hope as an evolution, that it's going to become more of a players thing where it's going to be more player empowerment.
Yeah.